My name is Jack Healy, I'm 42, and for almost 2 decades, I believed I had a perfect life, a perfect family. My wife, Dakota, and our 2 beautiful daughters, Sheridan and Helena, were my world. That was the lie. It all shattered last Tuesday. My business trip ended early, and I decided to surprise Dakota. Pulling into the driveway, I saw a strange black Audi, parked like it owned the place. Inside, I found her. In our bed. With him. That moment changed everything. But what else was a lie? She'd been cheating since before our wedding, my daughters weren't biologically mine, and I was just a pawn in her elaborate game. In less than 24 hours, my entire reality crumbled. And as I watched her later that night, calmly setting the dinner table, humming a tune, she had no idea the storm I was about to unleash. Before I tell you what happened next, please take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if this story resonates with you, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is there. My name's Jack Healy, and today I watched my wife was with another man in my own bed. I wasn't supposed to be home yet. Business trip got cut short and I thought I'd surprise her. I pulled into the driveway around 3, saw the strange black Audi parked right in the middle like it owned the place. That should have been my first clue. Didn't pull the guy off her. I just turned around and left. I drove to the office. Didn't even think about it. Just knew I couldn't be home. Well, buddy, let me get my investigators on her. You'll have to pretend everything's normal for a while, though. You think you can manage that? I'll do whatever it takes. Good. Usually, dinner with the girls is chaotic, noisy, full of giggles and gossip. But that night, even they felt the tension. Dakota kept glancing at me. She was nervous. She could sense something, but she didn't know what I knew. He looked like a man trying to swallow broken glass. We got everything. Surveillance, audio, photos, texts. She's not just cheating. She's been cheating since before you got married. But we have footage of all 4 of them. Dakota, Byron, and the girls at a park picnic. The kids called him Dad. They kissed him, hugged him, played catch. I sat back down. Butch, real name Cheyenne Gillette, was head of it at the firm ex-Navy, built like a linebacker, and had the emotional warmth of a buzzsaw. But she was loyal, and her partner Becky was the only person I'd ever seen make her laugh. When I told them what happened, Butch didn't blink. Becky hugged me hard. "You're staying with us," Butch said. She barged in wearing heels, makeup like a billboard, and that smug smirk she always wore when she thought she had the upper hand. "Hi, Jack." I didn't say a word. "I've been trying to reach you. Why aren't you answering my texts?" Something in her face twitched. "Franny." I didn't answer. "Okay, so now what?" she asked, folding her arms. "You think this ends with you winning? You're not ready for war, Jack. But I am." Then she walked out. That afternoon, I called Andis. "You have no idea who I am." "None of you do," they moved in. "Get off me," she shouted, twisting. "He's the one who should be dragged out, not me." As they restrained her, she snapped her head toward me, hair sticking to her face, eyes burning. "You're nothing, Jack." He said it'd send a message. Meanwhile, Dakota used every trick she had. Tried calling me, texted me at night, left voicemails that started sweet and ended venomous. "You love me, Jack. You still do." I took a step toward her. "You really think this will end well for you? If you loved them, Jack, you'd drop this. You'd come back. We could figure something out. You keep saying that, but you're the one pushing this war. You want to be a father. Then stop acting like a rival." I stepped forward. "I'm not going to pretend what she did didn't happen. Don't pretend you care about them the way I do. They're not trophies," I said. "They're not leverage, and you're not their father. His hands twitched, jaw set, and for a second, I thought he was going to swing. And I wanted it. Then don't let her. Becky said, don't let her break you. I wanted to believe them. Then Troy showed up at my office the following week. Dakota had sent him. Troy was married to her sister Montana, the quiet, steady type. I was confused. Jack was distant. Byron and I. It was a mistake. But she couldn't explain the texts, the pregnancy plans, the recorded conversations. Dad, it was her older somehow just from the tone. Sheridan. She didn't speak right away. I heard her breathing, shaky and uneven. Yeah, it's me. You're still my dad, Sheridan said. I don't care what any test says. You raised us. You did everything. I remember. Me, too, Helena said, voice cracking. Who did that? I asked, already knowing. She looked down. Byron. I couldn't breathe. What happened? My daughter, Sheridan Hole. He nodded once. You're the father. Not biologically, but I raised her since birth. His fingers stopped moving. No, I said, eyes locked on his. Not yet. I wanted to talk with Byron. I didn't knock. I waited outside in the dark until Byron came out in a t-shirt and slippers to toss a trash bag. I stepped out of my car and walked straight toward him. Jack, you put your hands on my daughter. He blinked, then had the nerve to scoff. They said I'd get a court date in the mail. Most likely a fine community service and maybe some anger management classes. No jail time unless I screwed something up later. One of the officers leaned over the counter, flipping through my report. You're lucky, he said. No, but you allowed it to happen, and you did nothing to stop it. Her voice cracked. He told me it was an accident, that it would never happen again. And that accident left a visible bruise, the judge said. And your response was to tell your daughter to hide it. Don't touch me. She shoved one of them back with her elbow. And when the other tried to grab her wrist, she bit his hand hard, full teeth. He yelped and twisted away. That changed everything. Dakota always told guests to park along the curb. I walked in through the back door. Quiet. It was too quiet for a house with 2 kids and a wife who loved playing music while cleaning or cooking. I thought maybe they were out. Not yet. Franny, my assistant of 15 years, looked up as I walked in. She started to say something, but I brushed past her like a ghost. Shut the door. Locked it, sat at my desk, and stared at the 2 baby photos I'd pulled from Dakota's drawer. And Jackson, don't tell a soul. That night, I went home. Dakota was in the kitchen. She gave me that wide phony smile she uses on neighbors. Jack, you're early. Not yet. After the girls went to bed, I poured a whiskey and sat in my office chair. She called it the man cave. Said it was embarrassing, but it was the only room in the house that still felt like mine. I had to muster every ounce of strength not to give myself away. I stared at him. What? Her boyfriend, Byron Dubb, boys. They were together in high school. According to my guy, he's been bragging about making love with Dakota the morning of your wedding. Everything around me went silent. You okay? Andis asked again. Do they know? He nodded slowly. Don't argue. So, I didn't. I told them everything. The affair, the lies, the girls, Franny, even the alpha-beta bull crap Dakota fed her cousin. Becky looked confused. She wanted an alpha to father the kids and a beta to raise them. Still nothing. Her eyes dropped to the baby pictures on my desk. She froze. You were there. I nodded slowly. You going to destroy everything over one mistake? I stood up, leaned over the desk. This isn't a mistake, Dakota. You lied. For almost 2 decades, you used me. File it, I said. You sure? Do it. Annul the marriage. Serve her. Just a gray little man hiding behind rules and lawyers. You think the girls will pick you after this? You think that they'll look at you and see a father? They don't even talk about you anymore. I kept still. We can fix this. Next one. You think this is justice? This is revenge. You're pathetic. You, me, Byron, you want me to share custody with the man you cheated on me with for half our marriage. Not custody, she said, shrugging. Just accept him. My jaw clenched. Go to hell, Dakota. I'm not going to sit down, shut up, and let her rewrite history. Not for you. Not for anyone. He looked around like he was trying to stay calm, then turned back, face tighter. She doesn't want more chaos. I wanted him to, but just before it happened, red and blue lights flashed. A patrol car turned the corner and slowed down, headlights sweeping across both of us like a warning. The window rolled down halfway. Everything okay here? The cop called out. Byron took a quick step back, his fists loosened. The guy everyone pied after her affair blew up a few years back. The one that turned every family gathering into a minefield. Everyone knew about it. Even Montana's kids. But he forgave her, stayed, smiled at holidays, like nothing happened. The DNA test confirmed it. Sheridan and Helena weren't mine. I felt the courtroom freeze when the results were read. Dakota didn't cry. She just blinked. And Helena's here, too. Where are you? In my room, door locked. She's on speaker. Then Helena's small voice. And can we see you, please? At the library near school after Mom drops us off. I exhaled slowly. Okay, Dad. Sheridan's voice again. Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't say something sooner. I just didn't know how. I didn't want to eat the broccoli. I got up from the table. He grabbed me and said I was being a brat. I heard my breath before I felt it. It was shallow, hot. He looked up. So legally, I lost custody in the divorce, I said, jaw clenched. She lives with her mother, but the guy she's living with now. He did that. Her stepfather, their biological father. We're doing this now. No, we're done talking. I hit him clean in the jaws. No warning, just everything I had. He flew backward into the trash bins, came up swinging, missed wide. Neighbor called it in before it got worse. I tightened the ice pack in my hand. Lucky? He glanced at me. That guy hit a kid, I said. Then he turned to me. Mr. Healy, despite not being the biological father, you have demonstrated long-term parental responsibility, emotional and financial support, and immediate appropriate action once you became aware of the situation. This court takes that seriously. He paused, let the silence sit. The first officer moved in fast. She was pinned in seconds, kicking, yelling, hair flying as they wrestled her toward the exit. You're all liars. You'll see. You'll regret this. But when I passed the stairs and looked up, I heard it. Low moans, the sound of the bed creaking, a voice, hers, muffled but unmistakable. I didn't storm up there. I didn't shout or break anything. I pulled out my phone and hit record. She used to keep 4 pictures on her nightstand, a family portrait, our wedding photo, and 2 shots of the girls when they were small. Only the girls' photos had remained. The others, mine, ours were hidden in the second drawer. Even in the middle of making love with someone else, she wanted him to see those baby pictures. What the hell kind of message was that? I figured I'd finish the day at the office. She kissed my cheek like she hadn't just spent the afternoon writing some stranger. Dinner will be ready soon. Didn't expect you, so it's nothing fancy. I'm not hungry. Not before I dropped the hammer on Dakota. The next few days, I played my part. Woke up early, went to work, ate her dinners, hugged the kids, slept beside her. She grew clingier by the day, saying, "I love you." 20 times before lunch, complimenting my ties, asking about my mood. It wasn't guilt, it was fear. My throat closed. What? Yeah. She told him you'd get sloppy seconds. His words, not mine. They do. I wanted to scream, break something. Instead, I just sat there feeling like my spine had vanished. What do we do now? You want out? That's what Franny said. Jesus. Butch muttered. That's not just manipulative. That's delusional. She sat down across from me, crossing her legs like a bored queen. It's not what you think. I leaned forward. You slept with him in our bed. What else am I supposed to think? You made me raise kids that aren't mine, and you have the nerve to sit there like it's no big deal. Her smile disappeared. Watch your tone. Or what? You're cheating with someone else. You got it. Dakota didn't go quietly. She kicked the door shut behind her and started tearing through my office like it was hers to destroy. You smug little coward. She snarled. No words, no emotion. I made you, she screamed as they pulled her to the door. One final twist of her neck. One final glare. I hope you rot alone. Then I'll make sure you never see the girls again. She was already doing it. After Anna served her, she took Sheridan and Helena out of state for a trip. No warning, no goodbye. That's when I stopped hoping for resolution. She left. But I know it's not the end. The city was dark by the time I left the bar. Street lights humming, air cool. I hadn't even made it 2 blocks when a car sped up behind me. Neither do the girls. You know what? She really wants control. And she thinks using you will scare me off. It won't. I didn't flinch. Yeah, I said, keeping my eyes on him. All good. The cop lingered for a beat. Byron finally turned toward the SUV, muttering something under his breath. He drove off. Now he was here, standing in my doorway, sent by his cheating sister-in-law like some kind of peace ambassador. He looked worn out, like a man sent to carry a message he didn't believe in. Troy looked exhausted, defeated, a man dragging himself to the gallows. I offered him a drink. He declined. Byron didn't even show. And leaned toward me. You won, partner. It didn't feel like a win. A month later, late at night, my phone buzzed once. Hi, Daddy. My chest tightened. Hey, sweet pea. You girls okay? No, Sheridan said. I'm just glad you called. We love you. My throat clenched. I love you too always. The line went quiet, then a soft click. I sat there with the phone still pressed to my ear, heart pounding, breath shallow. My hand clenched without thinking. Mom told me to cover it. She said not to make it worse. I'm going to fix this, I said. You hear me? The cop leaned back. Okay, slow down. Who are we talking about? Byron James DuBois, my ex-wife's boyfriend. That photo was taken 2 hours ago. I landed another to the ribs. Then he tackled me and we hit the driveway hard. I didn't care. He shoved me back, but I grabbed his collar, slammed him into the hood of the car. My knuckles were bleeding, my shirt was ripped, but I didn't stop. He nodded careful. We're still looking into that. I stared at him a second longer. Yeah, well, don't take too long. He didn't say anything after that. This court grants full legal and physical custody of Sheridan and Helena to Mr. Healy. Miss Holt will be allowed supervised visitation to be reviewed after 6 months. Dakota gasped. You can't do that. Her voice echoed all the way down the hallway. Then silence. Sheridan stepped toward me slowly. Then all at once, she closed the distance and wrapped her arms tight around my waist. Helena followed, holding on like she hadn't taken a deep breath in weeks. By the time I stood in the doorway, they still hadn't noticed me. I had a perfect view of my wife's bare back arched like a bow. Her fingers gripping the headboard like she'd trained for this moment all her life. That's what hurt. 18 years married, 2 daughters, Sheridan 13, and Helena 11. I dialed Andis. He picked up like nothing was wrong. Jackson, my man. To what do I owe the I need your help? I said that wiped the smirk off his voice. I started upstairs. The girls tackled me halfway. Daddy. They were excited, smiling, hugging me like nothing in their world had changed. And maybe for them it hadn't. She knew something was wrong. She just didn't know what. Franny knew something, too. She kept looking at those photos on my desk like they were haunted. One afternoon, she knocked on my door and sat down without asking. I stood up too fast. The room spun. You okay? Andis reached for a towel and pressed it to my forehead. Breathe, man. We go for annulment based on fraud. But we've been married for 18 years. Doesn't matter. You found out now. You have 4 years to file. Becky nodded. You're the better parent, Jack. But you don't have to carry this alone. I tried to laugh, but it came out like a cough. She destroyed everything and now she says she still loves me. It was just a mistake. How long? She shrugged. A couple months. Don't lie to me. She stood too, her heels clicking against the floor like gunshots. You want to blow this up? Fine, but remember, you do that, you lose them, you lose everything. They were never mine. She blinked. You think you won? You think dragging me through court makes you some kind of hero? She threw a pen cup at me, missed, grabbed a heavy file binder, and launched it across the desk. Then a glass award I'd gotten 3 years ago shattered against the floor. You sent people to spy on me, to follow me like I'm some kind of criminal. Then she spit. Not at me, but right on the floor at my feet. The security team pulled her out. Andis called 15 minutes later. He sounded like he was holding back a laugh. One evening, I stopped by the Horse's Head for a drink. Needed space, silence, whiskey. But Dakota was waiting. She stepped out of a black SUV, hair curled, heels clicking. She didn't say a word at first, just pointed to the car. Headlights flaring in the rear view. Same black SUV. I barely had time to react before it cut me off hard, swerving across the center line, tires screeching. I hit the brakes, jolting forward in my seat. Byron stepped out before the car even came to a full stop. She wants peace. You're standing in the way. I shook my head. Peace isn't built on lies, Byron. A pause. I didn't move. If not for a while because I needed him to know. Next time there won't be a cop driving by. At Butch and Becky's place that night, I told them everything. The SUV, the threats, the girls' faces behind the glass. Just sat across from me like he was staring down a cliff. You're trying to convince me to forgive her. Don't waste your breath. I'm not like you. I can't do it. Unknown number, no voicemail, then another buzz. Text this time. Dad, it's me. Please don't tell Mom. I froze. We're not. Mom said you left because you were mad. But I know it's not just that. I know it's about Byron, about the truth. I didn't speak. Tomorrow I'd see them again. I spotted them in library before they saw me. Sheridan in that gray hoodie she wears when she wants to disappear. And Helena head down, dragging her feet like the floor hurt. I stepped outside. Sheridan grabbed my wrist. Don't let her talk you out of it this time. I didn't blink. She won't. I dropped the photo on the counter in police station like it was evidence in a murder trial. Sheridan told me herself. He sighed and slid a clipboard toward me. Write everything down. Names, dates, details. We'll have someone look into it. You think you can hurt my kid and walk around like it's nothing? I growled. You're not even their dad, he shouted. I'm more of a father than you'll ever be. That's when the red and blue lights flashed behind us. A cop car pulled up fast. Just walked off, leaving me there with a pounding head and a folder full of consequences. A few weeks later, we were back in court. I sat straight in my chair, clean suit. Sheridan and Helena were seated with Butch and Becky behind me with my lawyer, quiet, watching. Dakota was across the aisle, tight dress, tight lips, arms folded across her chest like she could hold herself together by force. You can't just take them. They're not property. The judge replied coldly. They are children and their safety comes first. Then came the snap. Neither of them looked back. I held them close. No words. They didn't need them. They knew they were safe now, and I wasn't letting go. And I'd never seen her like this. Not with me. She was wild, filthy. Words came out of her mouth I didn't even know she knew. And the worst part, she looked happy. What happened? I came home early. She was with someone else in our bed. I have video photos. There was silence. I held on to them a little longer than usual. Upstairs, everything looked spotless. Our bed was made, sheets fresh. She'd cleaned the whole crime scene like a pro. Except I noticed the 2 missing photos hadn't returned. You okay, Jack? I'm fine. You sure? I said, I'm fine. She nodded, stood up, hesitated. Just breathe. What else? You're not going to like it. I laughed bitterly. What the hell else could there be? But if we go this route, you give up all rights. No child support, no alimony, but also no visitation. It'll be like the girls never existed to the court. I blinked. They're still my daughters. Butch raised a brow. You believe her? I think she believes it. And what do you believe? I looked down at my hands. Fine. A few years on and off, but it never meant anything. That's worse, Jack. Come on. You know I love you. That one got her. You know what's sad? I said I was a good father, a really good one. I would have died for those girls. And maybe that's the problem. I stood still. Dakota came around the desk fast and got right in my face. I gave you the best years of my life, she hissed. And you repay me with humiliation. Do you have any idea what you've done? She showed up, huh? I wiped the corner of my mouth with a napkin. Yep. She slapped you twice, throw anything half the office. A pause, then flat and satisfied. Inside were Sheridan and Helena, pressed up against the window. Byron was in the driver's seat, stone-faced, hands on the wheel like he was gripping a tool. They still love you, Jack, she said. But if you go through with this war, you'll never see them again. I stared at her. You're using our daughters as hostages. He slammed the door and walked toward me fast, jaw clenched, eyes locked. I opened my door slowly and got out. What the hell is this? I asked, voice low. He stopped a few feet away. She told you how this works. Then he leaned in, voice dropping. You go through with this, Jack. She'll take it further. You won't just lose contact. You'll be painted as unstable, vindictive. Becky looked like she wanted to cry. Butch, she looked very angry. She's a narcissist, Butch said. She thinks love is leverage. She's winning, I muttered. I'm staying with her, he said. Not because I forgive her, but because I still love her, and I'm too old to start over. I nodded slowly. That's your choice, man. What are you going to do? I'm burning it all down. He didn't argue. Sheridan. My fingers hovered over the screen. The room was dark. Just the soft blue glow from the phone lighting up my hand. My heart kicked into a different gear. Mom told us not to say anything. She said you'd leave forever if we did. That it would ruin everything. She said you'd hate us, Helena added quietly. And her and everything, Sheridan cut in again. Sheridan looked up. Her eyes were tired, older than they should have been. Helena rushed me without a word and hugged me around the waist. I missed you, Daddy, she mumbled. I missed you, too, kiddo, I said, holding her tighter than I probably should have. The desk officer barely looked up. Mid-40s chewing on a pen cap. You need to file a report? He asked, eyes glancing at the screen in front of him. Yeah, I said. That guy is still in that house, I said, voice rising with my daughters. You understand that? I hear you, he said. But we've got a process. Fill it out. Doors flew open. Hands where we can see them. I backed off, hands in the air. Everything okay here? One officer barked. Byron wasn't there. The judge had noted at the start of the hearing that he was absent due to an ongoing criminal case. The courtroom was cold and silent when the judge began reading his decision. Miss Holt, he said slowly, you knowingly allowed your live-in partner to strike your daughter. You concealed the injury, discouraged your child from speaking up, and failed to report the incident to authorities. Dakota slammed both hands on the table. Her chair tipped back and hit the floor with a thud. He doesn't even share their blood. She screamed. Miss Holt. I stood there for some minutes, took pictures, took video. It all felt surreal, like I was watching some indie movie about a guy whose whole world cracked in half. She never noticed me. I didn't say anything. Didn't throw a lamp. Then you want a divorce? No, I want more. I want to end her. I want her to remember this for the rest of her miserable life. Andis exhaled through his teeth. She caught me staring at the empty space on her nightstand. Oh honey, I broke the frames while dusting. Took them to get fixed. I nodded, said nothing, changed clothes. That night, we ate dinner in silence. If you ever need to talk, I ignored her. But I saw the way her eyes lingered on those baby photos again. She knew it was Andis who finally dropped the bomb. Jack, you need to come in today. I walked into his office and he didn't even bother with a joke. Andis didn't flinch. Your daughters. There's a good chance they're not yours, Jack. That one hit harder than the rest. No, we can't prove it without a test. He shrugged. Legally, maybe. Emotionally, that's on you. I didn't sleep that night. I left the house before Dakota woke up and went straight to Butch's place. I believe she used me. The next morning, Dakota showed up at my office. Security let her through. My mistake. I hadn't filed the restraining order yet. I always have. This thing with Byron, he's different. I don't know how to explain it. You don't have to. I already know everything. She snapped. You were so busy being the good guy. You forgot how to be a man. I didn't move, just stared. She picked up her purse, threw one last dagger with her eyes. She raised her hand and slapped me hard across the face. Then again, security finally burst in, but she wasn't finished. Her hand darted toward a letter opener, not to use it, but to fling it at the wall near my head. It stuck into the drywall, humming from the force. Don't touch me, she shrieked at the guards. Permanent order. No more chances. She just handed it to us. The annulment hearing was scheduled in 60 days. Andis made sure the media got the date. I'm protecting my family. They're not your pawns. They're mine, she said quietly. Not yours. Not really. You said no, I did. She's trying to protect what's left and you're dragging everyone through the dirt like it's a game. She's not protecting anyone. She's using the girls to hold me hostage. He pointed at me. She's already talking to people. She'll do whatever it takes. I stared at him. She sent you to tell me that. She wants you to think about the girls. Every time I try to take a step forward, she drags me back down. She's not winning, Butch said. You're still standing. You're not drinking yourself stupid. You're thinking, planning. She's weaponized the kids. He understood me. The media had a field day with the annulment trial, 18 years of marriage, fraud, DNA tests, private investigators, video evidence, the works. Andis played it like a concert pianist. Every move choreographed, every word weaponized. Dakota tried to play the victim. Another text. Can we talk? I called. Immediately. The line clicked, a whisper. But then you left anyway, and it's worse. It's so much worse. I gripped the edge of the table. You didn't ruin anything, I said slow and steady. None of this is your fault. Sheridan was standing a few feet back, chewing her sleeve. Hey, I said, watching her face. You okay? She didn't answer, just sat on the bench and slowly pulled up her sleeve. My stomach dropped. Dark bruise high on the arm, finger marks. Look at that photo. He glanced down. Then again, slower this time. That's a bruise, he said. Who's the kid? We'll take it from there. I gripped the pen so hard I thought it might snap. My handwriting looked like I was trying to carve through the page. When I was done, I shoved the clipboard back. You heading home? The officer asked almost casually. Not even close, I said. They gave me an ice pack and a few forms to sign. My knuckles were swollen, split open near the edge. The paperwork said I was being charged with misdemeanor battery. Basically, I hit someone and now I had to answer for it. That is not protection. That is neglect. Dakota stood. I didn't hit them. The judge's voice didn't rise, didn't shift. The judge warned again. She pointed at me, shrieking. You're letting him destroy my life. Two court officers approached slowly, hands open, calm. Ma'am, we need you to step outside.